Hey guys! Welcome to Our Mom is a complete idiot because she forgot to mention a very important tool in the whole FireAlpaca basics video, and I've gotten a lot of questions about it and I feel so bad for not covering it, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And the tool that I'm talking about, as you can probably see from the title, is a transform tool. Most art programs already have the transform tool. You've probably had to deal with it before. It's when you can change the size or the perspective of something that you've selected. So I'm going to go for his mouth just because it's the easiest. You can transform something whether it's on a layer of its own or if it's on a layer with something else. Right now I'm just going to put it on its own layer just to make it a bit easier on myself, but like I said, it's easy no matter what. So if you want to figure out the transform keys, you can go up to select and then up here, you see transform right here? It tells you the shortcut. So for me, because I'm on a Mac, it says Command T. So I can either press it here or I can use the shortcut Command T. Since I put the mouth on a layer of its own, it's just selecting the mouth. But if I was to select the line art, it would select all of it. It selects whatever is on the layer if you don't use the select tool. But right now we're just going to go for his mouth. So if you click Command T, this pop-up will show up if you have the newest version of FireAlpaca. If you don't have the newest version, I don't think most of these will pop up, but I'm pretty sure like this stuff is not there if you have an older version. So right here you're given a lot of options, or 3 options. The default is usually smooth. So I'm going to show you. If it's on smooth and you transform something by holding down the vertex and then dragging it, let's say I'm going to give him a very tiny mouth, a little baby mouth. He looks so funny. But I don't know if you can tell, but it's very not as sharp. It's a bit blurry. That's how it's going to turn out if you have it set to smooth. Let me undo that. Transform again, and I'm going to go to Jaggies next, which is nearest neighbors Jaggies. So as you can tell by Jaggies, it's going to end up a little jagged. So I'm going to make his mouth bigger this time. Again, I'm going to hold down a corner vertex and then drag it, give him a big old mouth, press OK, and as you can see, nice and jagged. Again, I don't use this one either. I don't use it smooth and I don't use jagged. I use the third option. But I'm just showing you what it has to offer. So if you like this kind of look for some reason, that's fine. You can use that. The last option right here is bicubic, which is sharp. So this is the best one in my opinion because I don't really like how it looks when it's super smooth. I'm going to say right now that the transform tool in FireAlpaca needs a little bit of work. So even when you use the sharp option, it's still going to end up a little more blurry than the original picture. There's some art programs that have a very good transform tool, and no matter what you do, it's going to look as if you drew it. You know, it's not going to be all blurry, but unfortunately, FireAlpaca needs a little bit of work, but that's okay. You know, nothing's perfect. What I usually do when I'm transforming something and it ends up a little blurry is I put it on its new layer, lower the opacity, lock it, and then I just draw over it in the size that I had transformed it to. Like this. See? Just tracing over my own work. And then there you go. That's so big. Let me undo all of that. There we go. You can also change the width by holding down the vertex that is on its side like this. You see how the little arrows show up? Just hold it down and then do that. A little mouth and then a big wide mouth. Or you can do the height up here. See? Nice and narrow or nice and long. Yeah. You can change other things besides the side, such as the position. To change the position, just hover over the line and you see how it's kind of like a cross? Hold it down and then just drag it anywhere, such as this. Or you can rotate it by going outside of the box. Notice how it changed into like a little rotation thing. Hold it down and then drag it. And then you're able to rotate it. You can put it there. Very cool. Also, something I should have pointed out earlier is if you transform something and then you click out of it without pressing OK or Enter, like if I was going to change to the tool, it would go back to normal as if I never transformed it. If you wanted to stay to how you transformed it, let me do that again. You could press down here, go, you see this? OK, you press OK, and then it stays like that. Or you can hit the Enter button. So I'm going to hit Enter, and it stays. If you change something and you don't like how it turns out, you can either click Cancel, and it goes back to normal, or you can just click out of it by using a different tool, and it goes back to normal. At first, I used to find this kind of annoying, but you get used to it. It's really not that big of a deal. Something else you might have noticed when I'm doing the transform tool is this line of text down here that says to apply free transform, I would have to hold down the command key while holding down a vertex. So if you haven't noticed before, using anything else besides this, when you transform something, it tends to stay in the same proportions unless, of course, you do the width or whatever. But free transform kind of takes that away. And this is something that's fairly new for FireAlpaca. I'm pretty sure it's only had this for a year. I'm going to hold down the command key, and then I'm going to hold down a vertex. And notice that it doesn't stay in the same proportions anymore. It's pretty much just changing according to the vertex that I'm holding down. And again, I can do a different vertex. And then here, I can change this to bigger up here. And then like this, I'm going to press OK to keep it like that. And there you go, the most perfect mouth in the whole world. This is pretty good with sorry. This is pretty good for perspective, depending on what you're transforming. This isn't a very good example for perspective. Whoops, sorry. That was my coffee cup, but it's pretty handy. Let me try that again. I'm gonna hold down the command key. Let's try this one. There we go. I use this for shadows, kind of. When I'm making a shadow for a person that's standing, let me use this somewhat old picture as an example. So when I would make shadows, I would duplicate the layer, and then I would color it in all black. Just for now, I would change the color later because I tend not to like black. It's kind of boring to me. Transform, hold down the command key, and then the vertex. You can put it down like this. You notice how, there we go, see? Do you see how, what I mean about making shadows? Let me actually connect it to her feet right here. Makes a little more sense. It's not gonna be perfect. You're gonna have to fix it a little bit, but that's kind of what I mean about making shadows using that perspective thing. Throughout this whole video, I had his mouth on a different layer just so that I can click Command T and it would only transform his mouth. But it doesn't matter if it's on its own layer or not. If you want to transform something and it's on the layer with everything else, all you would have to do is select it and then click the transform keys, and it would only transform that, whatever you selected. Or, as I did, you can cut it and paste it onto a whole new layer so that you don't have to have it selected all the time, and then select it from there. Okay, I am pretty sure that's all I had to talk about with the transform tool. Thank you so much for watching. Also, this is my character Mace. Anyways, post videos every Tuesday and Saturday. Tuesday's tutorial, Saturday is speed paints, and I do video requests. If you have a request, just let me know and I'll get on it. Also, if you want to pay me to draw you something, I have my commissions open. You can look at the details for that in the description below. Thank you for watching. Share it, whatever. Just thank you so much. Okay, bye!